Okay, I'm going to go over how to set up your user in Opal Rad. This is just an intro. You don't have to watch this if you don't want for the class, but definitely is something to watch if you're new to Opal Rad. So what I'll do first is just show how right here you have a list of people you can look for. Obviously I already typed in the person's name, so we already know how to get into her x-rays. Just double click on the x-rays that you want. It pops up the x-rays right away. I'm going to leave this one open. The first thing that you want to do is first make sure that you have your settings correct. So go up to the top left hand corner and go to settings and edit. You wouldn't need to touch anything that's here. However, next tab over, and this is for the user options. You can see the interface sizes. That's what I have. This is setting the top row up here for all of your toolbar options. Then going to the annotations options. At school, they actually have a couple of these colors flipped around. I really wouldn't touch these too much. But down here, you'll actually notice that the numbers are a little bit different. So I kept the font scale at a 1, but to make sure that the actual annotations of the points are a little bit smaller, I put it down at a 0.6. You can't just put down 0.6, you have to put down a 0.6, or else it won't input that. Then going on to the chiropractic options, you need to make sure that this autonasium calculation is flipped, or else your calculations for math is not going to work. Then under toolbox, this is where you really want to organize this correctly. I've organized it to how I use how I analyze x-rays, but by all means do it how you want to do it. Notice that anything that's along this box right here in this order is going to also show up on this side right here in the same order. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now the other thing is I'll just click cancel real quick. The other way to get to the toolbox is right clicking, go to the toolbox, and right here you'll notice the whole list in a very organized fashion. Okay. So going back up to my settings, I'm going to show you what to have them as. Here you can notice that you can open up the annotations, go to the chiropractic. You can see the AO section. It's empty right now because everything's already been switched over. But let's just say I wanted to extend over to the Gonstead ruler. Okay, click on what I want, click on this arrow to click it over, and it's going to put it at the bottom of my toolbox. You can see how that has now been added. Okay, if I want to take it off, I can click it with this arrow, taking it from this box over to the other box, and it makes everyone happy. Okay. Here you can see the number of visible rows. You can see on the left hand side how that's increasing the amount of rows, bringing that back down to 6. Button size, obviously making the buttons bigger, and then the button separation is the space in between the buttons. Okay. You can also have it to where it goes above the thumbnails or below it. I like it above so it keeps it close to all of my annotations up here in the toolbox up here. Now to show you the reasoning behind my madness of how to actually set up this toolbox, I try and do it from step 1 to the end step of the analysis process. Okay, so I'll show you, with for instance, horizontal angle. That's how you get your ASP. The horizontal orthogonal angle. That would be how to get your axial angle. Then you would look at your horizontal x-ray, so you're going to be doing the vertex calculations and so forth. Then to the axial, you're going to be putting down the main calculations, put down the 2 axial findings right here. And then to do the frontal, unfortunately there's not another main calculations for AO, so you have to go back up to this one and then come back down for the frontal cephalic line. But then it's from step 1 to the very bottom where you put the FCL, then the AFP, then the AXSP. You look at the condyles, then you look for the avariancy. Okay. From here you have your drawing tools. you have your freehand, your line, your eclipse, and your mark spots. Also to help out is the horizontal axis and vertical axis, just a nice thing to have in there. The other one is the vertical level and horizontal level. And that's where you have, well, I'll show you in a little bit what those are. George's lines, obviously that's very important to put in. The spine options is the naming of the spine, so naming from 1 all the way down to C7 or whatnot. These two, while they're not specific to Advanced Orthogonal, it is for orthospinality, which is based off of Grossik's work. And it's just another way to use the templates. This is more of an advanced tool, definitely not what you need for the beginning stages of Advanced Orthogonal. The center point is just what it is. So you click 2 dots and you get a center point. Okay. So we'll go ahead and save that. Now, just to show you again, through these buttons over here, what they look like. So the horizontal angle, if I were to put down 2 points, 1, 2, so now I have an angle. Whereas this one, the horizontal, if I click 1 point, come down, it creates a 90-degree angle to my 2 points. Okay, go ahead and delete those. The ones I wanted to show you was the vertical level and the horizontal. Again, pretty simple, explanatory. It's just from that vertical, how far off of that angle is it, and however many millimeters. Same thing with the horizontal, it's the same difference. Okay, now let's show you some basics as far as the keyboard. Okay, as you notice, we have some name up here and different information. That's called the overlay. So if I press the O button, that will actually make it disappear. Or press the O button again, and it comes right back. Now let's say I have a bunch of annotations going on and it gets really crazy. I can't really tell what's going on. I just have all these templates and I can't see the anatomy. And it's kind of frustrating, but I don't want to delete what my templates are on there. So pressing the A button for annotations hides all of those annotations. It doesn't delete them, it just hides them. That way I can see the anatomy again, and then I can press my A button again to bring up all the annotations. Alright, to select an annotation, I want to first make sure that nothing is selected. Okay. Now when I hover over any of these boxes or any of the points, you'll notice that the color will change for that template or line. Now if I left click that point, it changes color again, letting me know that I have now selected that template or line. Now I can manipulate it however I want to, and if I want to, I can also press delete and delete that annotation. Alright, that has practically covered most of the basics. Let's go ahead and go into a little bit more advanced. We'll go ahead and put down a template for the frontal. So we'll pull up the frontal x-ray. We're going to put down the FCL. So it automatically puts it down as a 0 degree. Alright, not everyone is at that. Obviously we need to be able to rotate this template. So that's where the greater than and less than symbols, or if you look, it's also the period and the comma button, can actually start to rotate this template. Sometimes though the template is either too large or too small for the person, so if you press the plus button to make it bigger or the minus button to make it smaller. It's very useful for different situations. And the other thing you can do is sometimes using the mouse is a little bit too hard, it moves around too much, and you just need to have minimal control. And that's where using the down arrow, the right arrow, left arrow, and the up arrow allows for the small movements. Okay, now I'm going to highlight this and delete it. Okay, now as far as the mouse commands. With the left mouse button, if I left click, the only thing that's going to happen is if I put down annotations. Okay, I can keep putting down as many annotations as I want, as long as this annotation mode is on and as long as this is not clicked. If this was clicked, I'll show you what happens. I would left click, put down one, and now I cannot put any more down. I'd have to come back to this annotation to put down another one. Okay. I personally like this unclicked, that way I can make as many templates as I need to, and then to get out of the annotation mode, I would just right click at that moment to get out of the annotation mode. Let me show you. If I put down this line and this line, but that's all I want to make, then I would right click, getting me out of the annotation mode. You notice that that has now changed. Now I can select all the annotations that I want to do. Okay, let's go ahead and clear those out. Now the other thing that we want to look at is how to zoom in and out without having to click on the zoom button. So if you click on your middle mouse button, you can scroll forward and zoom in, scroll back and zoom out. And of course there's another thing that we're going to teach you is just scrolling up and down just gets to the next set of x-rays. Now if you right click, that's going to do the contrast and brightness. So we've gone down to one side, we're going up to the one corner, going up to that corner, we're going down to that corner. Just changes it so you can see things a little better. Speaking of seeing things a little better, this bone enhancement is a wonderful tool. Anytime you work with x-rays, you're always going to have to make sure that this is on. So click on this 80%, making sure that things look clearer. I love it. The other thing that we can look at, if need be, the Cobb angle is great at measuring different angles. I love using that tool for obviously looking at, for instance, the lateral or sagittal, apologize. Being able to look real quick at what their angle is. You can go like this and say, oh, boom, 22 inches or 22 degrees. Pretty simple. So again, delete that. Let's see if there's anything else that you guys may want. Oh, okay, one thing. Going back to the right click, let's say I get way out here and I just don't know how to get back to where I can see something clearly. At that point, I press Control and 0, and that zeroes me back to the default. And that's very useful because sometimes you just cannot see things and you're not quite sure how to get back to that 0 point, and that resets it. Very, very useful. Well, that concludes for today as far as the basics of how to manipulate and zoom in, zoom out, all of the different x-rays. I hope this helps you out, making sure that you don't have such a horrific first experience with Opal Rad. Thanks so much. Bye.